it holds up. I think B side is just too claustrophobic with how it's designed. Everything's very close together. I do not like that. It's very easy for people just to throw smoke down and then stand in the corner.
And the timing on fucking B is crazy.
So we're doing feedback now. Yeah.
A
Okay.
honestly is whose mic does
That's Silverty.
that's Silverty. Okay, let me quick.
Conix, look at my live stream.
The A main Canex and Caspian, can you please shut the fuck up?
Okay, sure.
A side I think has very fun angles. I like this side a lot. It's kind of hard to entry ST if the CTs are using their utility efficiently, but then you can throw a smoke like this to block off the long angle here without actually using any without actually like exposing yourself. And then if anyone was playing here, it takes quite a while for them to reach like a safe angle to hold the main from. And by that time, anyone playing close could already swing this, and it's very enjoyable, I think, for both sides. So yeah, A side is designed pretty well. I do not like the CT drop down though. I think that's kind of unnecessary as a feature.
Hey, we have gloves if you want them.
Who else do I need to mute?
Caspian.
Then middle. I did not play middle that well. I hate the rotation stuff. They take way too fucking long. There's no reason to make the fucking Mirage mid out of this. Like, the map is already quite sizable, and if I'm playing like default here, it takes me like, you know, I didn't count, but I'd guess it's like 20 seconds or something like that until I'm on B side, you know. I don't really see the need for those kind of for this fence. I don't think it's necessary. I think if you just make a way up here, then you still and maybe the city entrance also sucks ass, but because it's like you're yeah, I mean, this is tighter than fucking Monster, and it's your mid entrance. And once you're out, you don't really have that much to fall back to. The only real thing you can hide behind is this huge crate of huge stack of crates. But then people can kind of push you from two sides when you're back here, so it's not fun to play here. Alternatively, you can play in the connecting positions, but like playing here as CT is just stupid at the moment. So I would really like to see a redesign of this CT mid entrance and make like the rotations quicker. Like at least remove this fence part and make a way to like boost up here or something. Yeah, because especially from A to B it takes a long time. On B you can play like pit, you can play these passive positions and then just rotate through CT because CT is so much closer and you don't need to like do the big detour. But on A it takes forever. I guess that's everything for now. Yeah, was fun.
Thank you, Nelson. I'm gonna give my feedback real quick since I have to be quiet in a matter of minutes. So yeah, off on T side. So yeah, you can tell that the map is definitely made by two people. The two biggest things, let's say, the rotations are terrible because of how quirky everything is, and the pathing is horrendous. By I don't know why, the pathing has to be like this way. So, in order for me as a terrorist to get from this point to middle, which is not that far away, it's like less than 1,000 units away, I have to. Firstly, if you have to do this for a fountain, I would just remove the fountain, like move it there or something. I was anticipating for the spawns to be here, and so that you can actually have like time to jump around.
Originally, but when we were testing some timings, we moved them forward and Silverty added the ramps over it, and I didn't question it, but yeah, it makes kind of sense why it's kind of in the way.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird. And then even then, like jumping in CS is like super fun. Like this is your way to like spice the spawn up a little bit. Okay, so the pathing, you have to maneuver around like awkward shit. get past this. If you want to rush middle as T, you have to maneuver here. Then you have to go like this. And I actually, that was, you know, in the warm-up before the game. Wait, what the fuck? Can you jump through?
Yeah, and we didn't. We forgot to clip it. We just decided not
Oh
to tell
no.
anyone.
Okay. Well, yeah, like in the warm-up, I was like running around
Fuck.
trying to figure out like
That would
I didn't jump
change
through
the
it.
timing so much.
I would.
Yeah, I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't use it.
So I didn't trying to jump through it, but it's like I was instinctively. Can you guys like just fucking fuck off for a moment? Jesus. Yeah, it's like I was trying to like, you know, go here, but then you have to go around like that. Is this for timings?
No, I was already thinking of changing this, so
Yeah.
just
So-
didn't have the time to do that.
So this peak is fucking. It feels so off, and then having to go through this as well as a T like here. Why do you have to? I get that. I get this design. This is cool. So you have to like expose yourself to the long angle, which you have the control over as a T, and then you have to go into the connector. It's like this, but this pathing, why? It's so awkward. It's so awkward. And then you come out into a position in the late round. There could be someone holding a headshot angle like this. It's just like it's so awkward in many places, and it has to be like common sensed through from pathing. And then you have to have this jump here. Doesn't need to exist. The middle, it's like emulating the classic Mirage style, but you don't really get the peak, since the CT entrance to the middle is like here, and there's not a window. Like the setup is very classic, but you should have the classic angles. Like the setup doesn't have to be like you don't do anything with the classical setup that reminds you of other maps. But if the angles suck, there is no good gameplay, and there is no value found in your time invested into the map whilst playing it. So it's like you can have mid that looks like Mirage, but place like something else if the angles are right, and it feels good. But you can have a map mid that looks like Mirage, but if it has like shit angles, it's just gonna look like Mirage and play like something like not like Mirage, for example. This was awkward. This is like the best connector, I'd say, in the map. This connector, the issue that it has with the Mirage fence is that you cannot rotate around this. If there was a drop down here, it would be way better. Because now that you could, you know, actually get to CT late round, you have no time to like go around this and then go back down mid. Like why the fuck would you go to CT just to be like here? That takes so much time, and that's like just weird. This window adds too much uncertainty. I think it could work. It could work, but right now it just doesn't make sense. I don't think it's a very dangerous position to like get to as a T, since you get stuck. In Mirage, these fences are used to create like a sense of movement control in the map. You can't travel through the fences, obviously, so it creates like a pathing of like having the angle but not being able to travel through, and you actually have to like, you know, get close to it and go around in Mirage. Also it makes it so that like, you know, short players from B are not pouring down from short as well, so they have to expose themselves to like top mid. Here the fence is just there for aesthetic, and it messes with the gameplay too much. Also, this got in the way a couple times. Also in the warm up, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Trying to aim down middle, and that guy in the way. I was like, okay, questionable. A main feels very awkward. This banana here, you have plenty of space. I think it's good. I like my tight choke points, but the tightness, I think, should let around past this. You know, you should have some sort of a spot to like move to as a T after you win this choke point, but no, you're just met with another tight choke point here, which is incredibly CT sided with this window area here, this fucking thing, like there's a headshot angle galore. These railings, you know, There were a couple rounds where people were crouching behind them. They offer no cover, but it's just the visual clutter that you get spotted later than your enemy. So it's like peeking into a fucking, or pushing through a smoke grenade. You know, they see you before you see them. This is fine. This is why it's like you could actually have an entrance from here. It's like extend to the back, just like coming through. B side, it didn't play like I thought it would. How it actually played is it's fucking smoked all the time, and we didn't get to play it. I was just staring at smokes half of the game, and you can watch if you end up watching the game, the fucking video, the bomb site B takes. We got the site, but we ran out of smoke grenades, so you were able to retake. And that felt really bad, since like there are no good positions to play from. Everything is exposed to like at least 2 positions, mainly this and like main. Like if you're playing from here, you're exposed to there. And this area is so deathmatchy. It feels so deathmatchy because like player can like spin around so many boxes. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 donuts that basically players can be hiding around, and I would remove 1, mainly this. Actually, yeah, I would remove it. CT entrance is okay. It's very standard, but there's nothing wrong with standard. B long is the highlight of the map because it played very standardly as well, and you could, after getting the timing down, I could appreciate it. I hit my mic there, sorry. But like remove this back apps doesn't have to be like this extensive. What you could do is add this box, move it here, and then block this back area off. What that would make or do, and also make the timings a little bit tighter so that the T's get like here, and then the CT peaks. Right now I feel like the T's get like super far, and it's hard to establish any sort of a feeling for the timing. But yeah, removing this box here, right, moving it from there to there, would create a position where CTs hold this, and now there's a position where the T's can be peeking from 2 angles, and then from back there, and they can be close. So in the areas that you need the little donut, you don't have them at all, and they just end up like dust too long. And in dust too long, you have the space to use smoke grenades to create those donuts to play around. But here, it's just like it's kind of tight as well. I did not enjoy my time on this. I also got like absolutely spanked, dumpstered, and it didn't feel good to get like thrown around so much. Mainly also because like the gameplay was so messy that I didn't get the feeling that it was like fair, to the point that we have a time on our asses pushing us down starting as terrorists, and then you can't rotate in the map, and it's annoying. You're stuck to one bomb site. If you start to rotate, the CTs have already pushed very far, and now you have to retake an area that the CT players in the middle, which was under CT controlled on this game for like 90% of the time. They can hear you pushing, and they can rotate and be in the bomb site before you. It feels very bad. Also, the routing, the pathing doesn't incentivize terrorists to get middle at all. And it's not satisfying to use smoke grenades like this to cover up angles, since you can't really move away from those angles. Like here, can't really move away. You have to commit. Everything is a tube in the map. Rotation is so hard. It's so vital in a map like this. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I quite frankly hated it, actually. I'm sorry to say it. I did not like this map.
I mean, I mean that's what playtests are for, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Make it into a fun map.
Okay.
Actually,
Another
do you
one
want to,
playtest can be.
Sorry, you
Can I
can
spec
give
and
feedback?
record this for you?
Can I give feedback then?
Yeah, I'm recording. Can Shady or Silverty leave the spec? And is one?
I'll screen share for you. So.
Yeah, nice. Thanks.
Okay.
So who's giving feedback?
I'm doing feedback.
Is that it? Yep.
Okay, so I think to start off, I think you have a bad habit of placing cover on corners, where it's not really needed. Like let's say something like this, and then this is a really bad one on B site, just because like having to cover and doesn't really do much. This again, this one, and like you'll be able to find it loads of positions on the map where you have cover on the corners and it just doesn't really add much. If we go into specific areas, I think B long played okay. I would change to the angles and stuff to make him play better. This is generally unused just because of timings. No one's ever gonna like take a route all the way back around here to peak an angle where you're at a disadvantage. Yeah.
I made
I
this
think-
so that, like, if the CTs rush too short, you get this angle before they do.
I know, but why would you want to get this when you already can
If
push
they
up
were like
and get this
aggressive,
angle?
that was just the thought behind it, and I
Yeah,
thought
like,
it was fine. I don't know.
You want to think about what the most common angle is going to be played, and it's going to be this, and this doesn't feel fun to play. Or like a peak and angle that's in a thin doorway to someone that's further back. This, I don't know why it's a ramp up as much, just because most of the time when people crouching, it's like a weird. If people crouch, it's a weird headshot angle on a main choke. I think this didn't have much purpose except making the area feel way more cramped. I think if that was shrunken in size or taken out, the area would feel a lot easier to play around. You need to think about, like I said before, what cover is actually doing for you. Like this wall, it's a cool concept. I don't know why you put it in because it'd be like cool to play around. But who's playing behind here to play towards the position? Like it's CT at most, and you can't really play behind it to any other position. And if you've pushed up as a T and you play here, you're exposed from short anyway. So no one really played this. Stuff like this is a cool concept, but you just not put it in the right positions. I think also the bomb plant is impossible each time for a T if the CTs are playing okay, just because it gets smoked off every time, like here or like here, and then you know every time where there's T's are gonna plant, and it's like super hard to get the bomb down just because T's get so much safety playing from here, and this box makes it so cramped from the T side that they can't push up easy. Sure. I think the only cool thing about mid, I will give you credit with. I did kind of like this concept of like a short where the T's could push up and watch through a window. I think the windows should be easier to watch through instead of like a huge middle beam. It should be some other shape, but like having like a sight line down the short if you push up is a cool thing. One thing you'd notice about the mid is you can take a lot of inspiration from how the other mids work, like a Mirage, for example. If this was Mirage and is flipped, T's would get into mid around like here and peek into like angles. But what you've done is you've put them all the way back here behind a headshot and long angle. So they have to fight even further to get down mid. And by the time they get out of this really long corridor, CT can be peeking from this left side. So you can't even like get early priority. You basically need to wait and throw tons of util just to get up to this position in mid, and then you don't even get that much off this position because it's still pretty hard to take A all the way from here because you need to push up while watching your back the whole time and then peek around. Someone has to watch your back for you, and then you have to peek this angle all the way through a U-turn. It just doesn't feel natural, the pathing a bit. A lot of pathing feels unnatural to go through, especially something like this. It's like going back on yourself each time. I know you can jump through the window now, but it's still like such a cramped and like weird direction area for like something that's needed most rounds to go mid. It should be the easiest way to go mid, but you just made it so like convoluted and hard to walk through that you just get frustrated each time you play the map, which I think adds a lot. Also, a random cover on a corner again here, and yeah, this connector, like all I've said, like you just need to work on smoothing out pathing and actually thinking about what you want for stuff. U-turns on this is annoying. And then I think the height difference feels like this map is stitched together. Like this is like the stitch mark of the map where it was so together because it's so weird having this like 45-degree slope down here into this A site. I thought the A site is a cool idea, but it feels so like haphazardly done. A main, it feels like really unnatural if someone's pushing out because you have like no cover and there's really thin walk back here. Like the setup area isn't safe for T's as much. Like the only position they kind of have is back here, and you're not going to really be waiting here to take the site. Because even if you want to chuck stuff through here, you need to go back here and then kind of trapped anyway. The way chokes work is it should be a pinch, and then it should blow out into multiple options to go. But with this, it's like a pinch, and then a pinch again, which is even smaller here, and then a pinch again, which is even smaller here, and then another pinch here, and then another pinch here, and then this corridor here is even small enough that like a smoke's thrown here, and it's still hard for T's to come out and like push other positions. Like you just made it so cramped in this area where it could be so much easier to play. Like I think this wall needs changing, and I'd even say like on site you could take away this cylinder and make it just the middle one, and it would be so much cooler to play around. Because I do kind of like this concept of like a bomb site that goes down into this flat area, and then these like these railings that are like wall bangable, but also like visual cover for certain stuff. Maybe make it like one deeper, just so like some headshot angles aren't the same, but I still think it's like an interesting concept. But yeah, if it doesn't feel fun to play around the site or push out of the site at all, just feels like constantly stressed. But yeah. But otherwise, I think that's all the feedback I got. Except like I don't know why you put water here, when you're not gonna take damage. But yeah, other than that, that's it.
Okay, I will go next.
Okie dokie then, Dave.
Okay. I like general idea of layout. It's look very interesting. I like how make I don't know this along. It's feel like very cool solution how make layout or something else because I planned maybe it's very you have like meat like not long long thing. It's kindly like letter L, like I don't know, and that's cool. And that interesting. Yeah, I think city don't can pushing from this maybe remove or change this city paths on mid, city entry on mid, because it's very fast for city for pushing, and that's not fun for playing for versus someone from here. And spots from here it's very safety and not feel fair. And yeah, another thing. I think every checkpoint is very tight, and that problem because you just not have some space for just moving from another guys from your team. It's I think kindly bad because you just stuck in some area and not can make anything and not feel good like just have someone from here and just we sometimes killing each other because not maybe killing, maybe giving damage because we every time just like stacking like this area because uh, we're playing versus this and we just like 1-3 terrorists here and not feel good. Maybe think about. From here, I don't like have like this hatch tangle maybe. And maybe I prefer playing versus some guys from here, maybe some guys from here, maybe some spot from here, but maybe more obviously because this spot's not very obviously. Another thing, maybe window make breakable, like you can make regular brush breakable, like breakable glass, and you just you can save aesthetic thing, but when they broken, uh, it's make more obviously you can going out. From here, I think it's very tight choke points and very crossfiring, and terrorists don't have spots for playing quests. Like, if you maybe like from this, you just didn't see someone from here and going to here, maybe. And if you just go into here, you just open it from here, and not feel good. And also, yeah, I think this pulse is type 2. Type 2. This paths is super long, like you just have like some left left from here, and you have some from here, and not feel very good solution or something else. Maybe the scars on site not very interesting. It's feel like a nuke just replaced from a nuke. Maybe just create something another. Maybe not really sure. I don't like terrorist can push. It's maybe another reason why I need rethinking about this area, because if terrorists win mid, they can go in city and just going another some site, and it's feel not really good. And also from this zone, it's not feel good city spawn like Mirage. You just have some cover, some if we comparison with Mirage city spawn, they have like banana thing, and that make maybe more not so awkward. I don't know. And yeah, maybe I repeat because it's maybe I didn't understand why it's bad. Yeah, it's tight choke point, and we just we can normally have fights, and that's feel. Mirage, I don't like Mirage because you just have like very many angles, not feel like can easy taking. You like you have spot like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10. I don't know. It's not clearly. Yeah, maybe that's all.
Okay, can I go?
Yes, Hex.
Thank you. Okay, so I feel like probably a lot's been covered by this point, so I'm gonna try and keep it short. This is probably the first time in a while I've actually been around for the feedback section, so yippee. Yeah, so I feel like a lot of people use the word stitched together to describe how this map has been sort of put together. I would, yes, they cast map. Yes. I wouldn't describe it as stitched. I feel like it feels more like it's been squished together.
It has, honestly.
The height variations on a lot of these connecting pathways are much
Bye,
more
everyone.
drastic anywhere else on the map.
See ya.
So I think I've got some personal ideas about middle that are kind of like more unique and maybe experimental. I feel like maybe if this was just a solid wall and rather than a fence, and there was like one little doorway like here, and then you could jump through it. But also you could use it to sort of isolate the angles, so you could just hold this, and then maybe hold this, and then have this something that you can't hold if you position the doorway in a specific way. Just so T's can actually feel as though they can play like holding down this without being exposed to like all of this back area here. I feel like that might be a way to something to experiment with. Obviously, these windows being jump throwable, I did not know until after the game. That's not very sight readable. Obviously, it's kind of not intentional.
It's a mistake.
Yeah. A lot of these like really thin corridors, like you could probably. I mean, I like the shop, like little grey box details, but I feel like if the wall was where this is, then it would just make this corridor feel a lot less claustrophobic. And furthermore, sorry, and furthermore, I feel like this should be wider, like in here, because I don't think
This
you're
was
blocking.
like this path was so last minute, honestly.
Yeah, I can tell. I feel like this
Because
should be wider.
at first, before this, we didn't even have a path to mid from CT. Like the
What?
original intention to mid was go to B to connector, and then you're playing down here.
Either B or A to middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the
We
timings
at
are
the
very
time,
CT-sided right now.
yeah, at the time we didn't make like T spawn yet, so that was like kind of the idea. But then we made T spawn, and it was kind of like the timings. I don't know how that will go. So we'll just
you kind of panicked, and then after that we were kind of just like, oh, what do we do for like a mid entrance? I suggested that we should probably put the mid entrance, so it's like, where you see these like yellow fences in like CT spawn, it would basically go to the left here and then connect to B, sorry, and then after that it was like we decided against it, so we are just like, all right, how are we gonna have a mid spawn?
Yeah.
Shady thought of this. We kind of, I was a bit skeptical of it at first, but then I was just like, you know, if it works, it works. We'll just
and
find
if it
something.
doesn't, we'll just
we'll-
think of something else.
We'll think of something else.
I have
think-
some ideas. Like what I'm thinking now is that it just connects to like a B connector, and that's how you get to mid.
Hmm.
And then I'll make B connector a bit bigger and actually like an area to play around, because now it's just hallway. But and I'll also change like the T way to mid, because it kind of sucks. At the time it looked cool, and then I started playing it, and I was like, maybe that's not.
I shall continue talking. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just
sorry,
a bit
sorry. I
pressed
just
for time.
sorry.
Sorry,
just
I'm
wanted
just a
to
bit
get
pressed for
that.
time. That's all. And also I get moaned at if I talk loudly for too long. Where was I going with this? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I understand the thought process behind this corridor. I don't think it's really necessary. There's a lot of cubbies and weird angles on this area of the map in particular. I mean, yeah. CT spawn is kind of a no man's land. There's like this, which is probably just going to get naded once the T's know the. Well, okay. Once the T's know the utility, they're probably just going to nade it. So it feels like basically the only places you can play are like around here, which also I feel like the weird slant of this. I don't think this should be able to cover a player's full body. It just makes this position even more redundant. This cubby I actually did like. I feel like maybe it should be a bit larger and deeper, so it's more obviously somewhere you can play to hold CT. Without feeling like you're sort of pigeonholed in there. A site I didn't mind too much, but I feel like this choke, or that's not a smoke. This choke shouldn't really be like this. I feel like maybe you should just cut a diagonal line in here, because I feel like you could. Well, where am I? Oh, I'm not even there. Yeah, you could probably cut a diagonal line through this just to make it a bit more open. without creating any new sight lines. The site cover was fine. I didn't have any problems with it. The water, it just creates a sound cue, like an even louder sound cue than the fact that you have to drop down here already. It doesn't block full damage. It's just kind of silly.
I added it because I thought it was gonna. I like water.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like water can be fun, but I feel like if it's just making it harder to retake without actually providing any other utility, then it's probably not worth it, in my opinion. It's not like the biggest sin. Uh, this whole like, yeah, this a lot of people said this is very awkward. Like, I don't. You have to peek this where you're not really sure where they're gonna be when you peek out of here, like on because there's so many places they can be in this very open middle area. Also because they have the good timings, they can literally be pretty much anywhere.
I think I might just close the door.
The lockout, the grey box detailing is interesting. There's a lot of like, I think Vendy described it as like being like modern architecture, which is interesting. I feel like I don't know what I'm going on about, but I'll just drop that.
The theming of the
Any-
map is like Silverty makes like industrial, and I make western. That's just it.
I think it's an interesting. I feel like it's very obvious right now, like whose side of the map you're on. I feel like maybe just for consistency's sake, you should try and sort of standardize some of the geometry you're both using. Because you both got very distinctive styles, but obviously if you want to take this map farther, then just from an artistic standpoint, obviously. The radar doesn't reflect everything. These boxes are not shown. So I thought this was just like a really open, empty corridor when I first.
These boxes are not on the radar.
They're not on, at least not that I can see. And also this like little cubby thing isn't represented either.
Wait, what the fuck?
I'm the radar wizard. I pick up all that shit.
I tried so hard to make that area look like how it is, but I fucked up.
I actually,
apparently.
I mean, aside from the sort of like, the T main, I actually don't mind too much. I feel like if this like doorway was more
Yeah,
obviously,
what I was gonna do is swap the window with the door and then just get rid of the window altogether.
yeah, that would be a good idea. Yeah.
Or maybe just make it one giant like opening, because it is supposed to be like the main entrance to like in hotels or something
Yeah,
like that.
especially since like this is like the only yeah, the rotations are a big thing that sort of suffers with the way the map is laid out. I feel like yeah, if this was bigger, then it wouldn't mean that you have to go all the way around here, then back through T spawn, then you're wandering out through B main, by which point the fight's probably already happened here or there's somebody holding it. You have to go through this shop, through this tiny corridor, take this fight if there's anyone here. Actually, you're not really getting anything else by going all the way around there because you've just come out like even farther into the T territory with even less access to these sort of angles. The rotations, yeah, I feel like there should probably be another pathway somewhere connected to this middle, in my opinion, because right now rotations can be very long. I think both teams suffer for it to some degree. Find this like there's like this KZ element in CT spawn that's like really out of place because it gives you like access to like a position that nobody's gonna play. I feel like utility is a huge thing. Utility is really strong on this map, is what I'm trying to say. Like because of all these like very obviously like designed for utility positions, like you as a T or a CT, you can cut the map, cut the site into like hundreds of different little segments, and it becomes quite overwhelming quite easily, I think, because if you look on the radar, the bomb sites compared to like the size of like middle or something, or even the bomb site mains, the bomb sites are quite small compared to the rest of the map. Like fairly small. I mean, they're not unplayably small. They're not hexic small, but they are quite small compared to everything else. And there's a lot of like, especially on this B site, there's a lot of jumps and
Yeah, that's just shady design. I
that is
can't
shady
help it.
moment. I know
I
that is
can't
shady
help it. I'm a
moment.
KZ
I do
player.
like KZ, but I feel like if you're gonna do that, why is the skybox so low?
Yeah, I blame Silverty.
Yeah, there's like clipping here or something. It's and you can't
There's
do
a
this
ceiling
jump
clip, which I
consistently.
fucking hate, by the way, Silverty. Don't ever clip my map like that again.
Huh?
You
You
can't-
you're
you
you're
can't
working with me.
consistently do
You're in
this
for a
jump.
long
Yeah, it's
shot.
my site.
Eat
I
poo.
wonder if you could add like a ladder up to
You
this
poo.
balcony. That would be kind of interesting. Like you can get like this high position. I mean, maybe that's a bit too much, but if you've got
Yeah,
this
I
level of
was
detailing
I was
here,
trying to maybe make this site a bit more simple.
I mean, I feel like you've tried that, but also there's like loads of cubbies, so it's like
Yeah, but I just wanted the T's to have like a lot of like it would be hard for the CTs to push.
Olaf, do you want me to stop feedbacking because you're running out of disk space?
No, no, it's fine.
Oh,
I
I
just
just
shot
I
at
wonder
you.
why you're just shooting me.
Yeah, it's shot at you.
Actually, yeah, I don't really have much more. I did like the map. I feel like a lot of people disliked it. You know, I feel like that's an okay opinion to have because it is a very rough idea,
Yeah.
and it is sort of like two very different mappers with two very different mapping styles, and you've sort of collabed. And I know you've sort of planned things out together, but I feel like maybe you should have consulted some other people on how to stitch the two areas together. Like, just got a
Yeah.
third person in.
I mean,
to,
at least for me, it was just like a little fun project to do.
yeah, I understand that. I
And
definitely
we knew it was
like-
kind of shit. Like
I
I think.
definitely like what you were trying to do. I'm not dissing what you're trying to do because I really do. I think this has a lot of fun elements to it, and I feel like maybe this map has, if with some tweaks, I feel like people would come around on this map.
Yeah, I also want to add like a little thing. I think there's a very beneficial, or like it's a very good idea to, you know, both of you come out and come up with like ideas for the bomb sites, but for one person to then make the whole thing, or one person to then like make the whole map, but both of you like make and iterate on ideas. For example, like Shady come up with like the main bomb site idea on B, and then Silverty come up with the main bomb site idea on A, but for one person to make the whole map, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, just like make drafts, make drawings, share them with each other, but then again like come up with like just make the whole map by one person, and then see what you're
Yeah, I
able
think
to you know, come up
If
with.
the lockout was done by one person, it would have been a lot cleaner overall, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
so too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Let's
What
clip.
was I
Yeah,
gonna
but
say?
I'm confused. I thought these were non-solid, like these little door frames, but now I'm walking into them and they have collision, so I feel like I've gaslit myself somehow. Wait, no, there's no collisions here. Wait, is there? No, there is. This is insanity. I'm going insane.
I was gonna say that, at least from my part, I'm probably gonna be remaking a lot. And I think that we should like just maybe start over with like with all the like things that we took from this, like remake it.
Keep
like-
this
I think
idea.
what we
Keep
can-
this idea. 100% keep this idea.
What I say is that instead of just completely scrapping,
No, I'm not talking about
we-
scrapping. I'm just like talking about reiterating on the ideas that we
yeah,
have.
basically just like we'll see what we can do to push it further. But
Yeah. I think I can like, if I can offer an idea, like definitely keeping this rotation, like keeping this, making this super fast, so that the middle entrance would be like here to get up to mid, and then this being like straight through here.
Yeah,
Making
that's
it,
literally
making
what
it
I was
so-
gonna do. Like you're
Yeah.
actually speaking from my mind.
Yeah, making it straight, and then this would be the main op position, so that you could cover and tell, and then you could have a CT rotation here. Basically, that would create by controlling top
Definitely.
mid and smoking here, you could control the rotations from back there as a T. That could be a very interesting, unique thing. I'm actually making a map at the esports club right now, and it's like I was actually making like a very close to a Valorant style of a map, just like very standard and open, easy to learn, and it had like this thing with like a moon gate here, and then kind of a CTX mid kind of a thing. So yeah.
Alright.
You could go for something like that.
I want to go to bed at a
Yeah.
reasonable time.
I'll upload these videos right now, so you'll get them tomorrow.
Alright.
Alright.